It appears Horizon Point Station is still in the process of being reconstituted. The rift itself is also more unstable than ever. As a result, landing closer to the location of the Protectorate's large-scale rift anomaly modulator is not possible. In order to modify it with the rift data you processed in the archive, you will need to travel to its location on foot and seize it from Protectorate control. The energy readings from the modulator can be traced to the Sovereign's flagship, Providence, hovering on the far side of the station. Hypothesizing. Given Protectorate hierarchy and the recent announcement about the Sovereign's mental refreshment, this is likely the Consul's doing. He will need to be stopped.
But to what end is he working here? The Consul I once knew would never act so recklessly.
Intimidation is not required. Protectorate subjects are not programmed to question authority. Warning. The rift is growing dangerously unstable. Using the rift modulator on board the Providence is the only way to prevent certain destruction of the colony. While the Order and Auntie's Choice have sent their forces to assist you in intercepting the modulator, it will take time for them to navigate the station. It seems Agent DeVries is also here, Commander. She sent word that she, quote, knew you wouldn't be able to stay away either and is ready to finish what she started, end quote.
Well, she better not get in our way, or we may just have to seriously reconsider your decision to let her live, Commander.
Once the modulator is secured, it may be used to close the rift and save Arcadia and all those in its orbit. There is minimal room for error, Commander. Good luck.
What in the interminable void are we looking at here? Everything that's been reconstituted appears maladjusted, imperfect, defective.
The Consul stands at the controls of the Sovereign's own flagship. How my blood boils.
Standing by to stupefy. Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Mobilizing.
Against the nature of all things. We must bring an end to this immediately.
Applied manufacturing process. We must all fulfill our duty to Protectorate, but none of us can do it alone. Remember, we are...
We have stepped into the world between life and death. Let us hope that whatever architect forsaken logic operates within this place does not fail us.
Attention! This is your Auntie calling. Per our agreement, Auntie's choice support ships, including the fine print, the contingency plan, and the upper hand, are headed your way. Order forces are on a similar trajectory.
We've support in spades. The consul must be quaking in his boots. My armor may be rated for temperatures in the thousands, but I find even most blankets too stiff. Consider self-find
Wasn't sure that'd work. That's DeVries's ship. Good thing. We'd had a dearth of misguided fools, hadn't we? Investigating how to have a fix on their weaknesses. Straight to it then.
lethal measures at the ready, Commander.
Augustine DeVries, formerly of the Earth Directorate. Consider this a recording for posterity. The Consul of the Protectorate is responsible for the twisted wreckage of this station. It is my hope that whatever you find here will save the rest of the galaxy from this fate. Know that I did my level best to stop it. If you are listening, it is likely I have failed in my mission. Yet again. For that, I am sorry.
Medics and pharmaceutical provisions incoming. And we're right behind them with a delivery of Auntie's Choice finest supplies. Soon you'll say, that is better than nature.
to dispense judgment!
Back and stand. Necessary vulnerabilities identified. Check your scope for combat. Fortificator at ready status. Resorting to combatant scan.
N-ray. Exposure. Undermated. Functioning.
Commander, if I know one thing for certain, murdering members of the Order isn't my role within the Grand Plan. Did you just half apologize for killing my colleagues? Look, let me make myself clear here. If we attack...
Why did you make me do this? Why?
Commander, one of them speaking coherently. Not sure if that's good or bad.
Get away from me. See them? They were my teammates and they didn't listen neither. You'll end up just the same.
Agent Pascal, calm yourself. You are not in your right mind.
Don't you talk to me like you know me. Wait. Commander? Is that you? No. No, this must be some kind of trick. Oh, what's happening to me? My skin. It's burning. I feel dizzy. Not right at all. Something was wrong with Sandoval and Jepson. They glowed like they were aflame. They ran in, jumped at me, clawed at me. Oh, I had to kill them.
Then they weren't too dissimilar from the troopers we encountered outside. This is concerning.
How do I know you won't turn against me as well? How do I know you won't come at me with murder in your eyes?
I swear, by the Grand Plan and all things numerological, what the Commander says is true.
You do seem like yourself, Commander. Can you tell me what's happening? I can't make much sense of things myself. Everything was fine. Till the explosion. I was pinned. Fire closed in. I tried to move. I tried to find the rookie. Then the whole station shook and tore apart. And then... nothing.
That explains it. She was left alive, just long enough for the rift to take her. That's why the reconstitution worked on her. To some extent.
Wait. There was something else. Sandoval was yelling. DeVries wasn't responding to comms. What happened? Don't tell me the situation got too fluid for you, DeVries. That it?
Certainly not. I was focused on the objective, as every one of your crew should have been. Isn't that right, Commander?
Yeah. Something tells me that ain't quite true. A rift. That's right. We were here to investigate rifts. So why is there one in the sky? Why is everything destroyed? What's happening to me? And Sandoval? Jepson?
The Protectorate are attempting to reconstitute the station to how it was moments before destruction. That includes you. But it's failing. I'm sorry.
So I've come back from death to some warped version of life? All because of some twisted experiment? Is that about right? You can help me though. Right, Commander? You can do something to fix this. Boyd. This is it, ain't it? I'll never see the sun again. Never fly in our ship. Never anything. That's good. Suppose I can take some comfort in that. You know, the sky ain't looking quite so terrifying now. Since I know you'll put it right, think I'll watch it for a while. Yeah. I reckon it is.
Pascal? Helen? I can stay with you for a moment, if you'd like. Might help.
Yeah. All right. I ain't turning down company if I'm at the end of the line. Goodbye then, Commander. Maybe we'll meet again in the void.
It's all right. It's gonna be over soon. I swear it.
Cease, larcenist!
Law! These soldiers look even more hideous than our crafting
Internal records classify you a figure of ill...
Allow me, child. I have a familiarity with Order procedures. Such an unproductive misuse of time. I request we dispense with this matter in the interests of the equation and all who serve it.
But yes, quite right. The equation must take precedence. All charges shall hereby be purged from you and your companions' permanent record to avoid further distraction.
Glad my decades wasted outwitting petty bureaucrats weren't utterly in vain.
Ed, you're the one who forged an alliance between Auntie's Choice and the Order.
My records show you have an outstanding fine for past offenses. Pay up or face Auntie's justice. Everything.
Law! These soldiers look even more hideous than our crafting experiments.
You with Auntie?
Hold clear.
We brought supplies.
You may approach, Commander. We've got supplies at the ready.
Initial observations conclude that the subject does not possess... Any injuries you may have sustained appear to be mild. Perhaps the worst of it is all in... Any treatments or supplies you may require are complimentary at the request of our presiding bishop. May the numbers guide you. Initial observations conclude that the subject does not possess major ailments.
Providence is much too close for safety, and that rover it has dispensed is not like what this might imply.
I've eyes on the
Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Energy transmitter out. Soak up the shock. Those reconstituted mechs still function. How inconvenient. Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
And rest them. Exposure resilient.
Investigating hostile intentions.
It would appear our path is barred. That rift looks exceedingly unstable.
Suggest we scour the area. The scientists here were unlikely near the caliber of the Order, but perhaps they left something useful.
This is Scientist Bernard Rand, sent to Horizon Point Station by order of the Consul. While monitoring the reconstitution, I picked up strange readings in the old skip lab. The core appears to be pulling plasma tightly around it, not unlike a planet and its moons. Fascinating, though it thwarts my attempts to gather more data. Fortuitously, in searching the remains of the lab, I found an equation that could manipulate the core just enough to clear the chamber. And my way to professional acclaim. Let this be a record of Protectorate ingenuity. Bernard Rand, the man who marched fearlessly into chaos and tamed it.
Somehow, I expect Rand's theories evaporated when put into practice. Much like Rand himself. Perhaps we can still utilize his calculations.
This is very curious. Some of the science eludes me, but this equation, although incomplete, clearly has to do with the rift in the other room. What do you think, Commander?
Awaiting.
Misunderstood! Ratcheting up my aggression. Unorthodox at best.
I should have expected that my sovereign would have solved such a complex equation himself. What a brilliant mind. Let us return to the Rift Terminal so we might continue on our way.
This must be the Sovereign's office. Worth a search for the equation, even if the place looks like an adult playpen.
We operate by the Sovereign's grace. Our accomplishments are his own. If he wished to take credit for a punishment I meted out, I would be delighted. Another obstacle on our path overcome. Good work.
Our projections are off by orders of... Saren's hypothesis was correct all along.
Proceeding to attack. They're benumbed, mitigating the threat. That rover. All we need to do next is infiltrate the Sovereign's ship, stop the console, and obtain the rift modulator. So, typical day on the job for me. No alarms. Hail of gunfire. We seem to have entered undetected. We'd best unseal the hangar to continue our ingress.
Attention, crew deck. Intruder alert. Be vigilant.
Never hurts to give the enemy more targets to shoot at, I suppose. Have a fix on their weakness. Let us coordinate.
If you must replace lost equipment, please submit proof of punishment. Unit does not accept blood. Please make a request. Displaying inventory. Check your scope for combatant analysis.
Unleash my might upon them!
What remains of Horizon Point should yield much in the way of science, once the threat of the rift is neutralized.
You should really go on ahead. We'll keep these slackwits distracted. Go seal the deal.
Impressive, Commander. I suppose it's too much to hope the Rift Modulator shall possess a similar override.
What's going on down there, Deck 01? I saw an intruder alert. Acknowledged. This intercom is to be used for emergencies only. Misuse of this intercom now. How can I assist you, Deck 01? How many times must I explain this to you all down there? Every subject aboard the Providence must keep their deck access credentials on their person at all times. If you misplaced your access card, Sovereign help you, because I surely cannot. Perhaps a colleague would be willing to lend you
What remains of Horizon Point should yield much in the way of science, once the threat of the rift is neutralized.
You should really go on ahead. We'll keep these slackwits distracted. Go seal the deal.
A veritable mosaic of conflict stands ahead, Commander. I propose we smash our way through.
Target analyzed. Lay down fire. I'll handle this. Combatant scan.
You can't find contentment. Seeking to determine origin and/or cause.
No, I do not need a respite.
Narrowing sensor range. Focusing intensity. Further search is of limited utility.
I have a fix on their weaknesses. Energy transmitter active. Resorting to fire. That wasn't so difficult now, was it?
Attention.
I would vote in favor of fighting our way to the console, but if you do not, you should either locate an access card or keep away from your foes. If we choose to keep from arbitrating the local scientists, we may be able to gather information on where the console's modulator is stationed.
I see not everyone in the Protectorate is blind yaysayer. We can make good use of that.
Irrefutable proof that the Consul's mad plan is impossible. Yet even if we confronted him with it, I doubt it would stop him.
Are you actually authorized? Come here a moment. Be wary. I've heard there's an intruder aboard. Ah, I suppose that could be you. Forgive me. I'm still a little addled from my last refreshment. I'm going to set off an alarm, okay? You've been reviewing our experiments. I hope I'm not being replaced. I specifically went to mental refreshment to avoid that. If you wish to see the modulator, you'll want to speak with Chief Scientist Montserrat. He's in the Rift Chamber. Take these credentials with you, in case you're asked. Security's become awfully stringent of late. It wouldn't do to be caught unawares. That's why I carried 2 cards, just in case. Oh, though I suppose it's just the one now.
Return to your work, my fellow subject. Return to your work, my fellow subject.
I was notified that you were here, though my fellow scientists seemed rather confused as to why. Unsurprisingly. What exactly was it that you needed? I'm rather short on time, as a gander outside might tell you. Yeah, well, we all have urgent needs. And mine is to keep my lab, and hopefully the rest of this system, from falling apart. I need the modulator for my own analysis. You can wait. So you are familiar with the work we're doing? Tell me. What do you make of our experimentations? Ah, so you are seeing what I'm seeing. I fear that I was alone. But none of these daft scientists seem to show any concern over our findings. Reconstitution is not working as expected. We are dealing with twisted versions of what was once normal. It's as I've been saying for weeks, but still, this ludicrous experiment continues. How do you... Oh, sweet matriarch. You found my journal, didn't you? You read what I said of the Consul. All right, out with it. What do you want from me? How would I manage that? I am locked in this void damn lab around the clock. If my productivity dips, or if I try to leave, I'll be sent to mental refreshment. Listen, our spirits have been tempered somewhat since the Consul came into power. What used to be accepted, our scientific curiosity, now carries a certain risk. Our situation is far more dire than it may seem. There is no proof that Rift data can be stabilized or even edited. The Consul's plan will fail completely. But he no longer listens to me, which is distressing. I've prepared a report for him showing how the very structure of the modulator makes what we're attempting impossible. But I doubt he will pay it much mind. Yes, but as I said, I fear the report won't do any good. It's clear you aren't bound by the same rules as the rest of us somehow. If he won't hear me out, perhaps a third party will have more luck. Here, use this keycard on the module over there. It'll allow you to download my report and grant you access to the control deck. I hope you're able to sway him. Because if you don't, we're all dead. The deck up in the control room. The console is the only one who has the means of controlling it, which makes your persuading him that much more necessary. Go now.
Science Deck. Authorized visitor aboard. Do not be alarmed.
Well, the modulator certainly...
Accessing report. Rift restoration analysis. Compiled by Chief Scientist Monserrate. Marked for delivery to Consul Thoreau.
Esteemed Consul, after much analysis, my conclusion is that the modulator we have worked tirelessly to build will not function as intended when used for reconstituting matter from rifts. Every test of reconstitution has resulted in demonstrable failure. Proceeding as we are now with Horizon Point Station will surely lead to severe, unanticipated consequences. The modulator is only effective at closing rifts from unsafe distances. Using it to close exacerbated rifts will certainly lead to the destruction of any vessel carrying it. Unfortunately, the data that we originally had hoped for from the ancient rifts detected in the far reaches of space untouched by humanity has not yielded any of its secrets. And we are now out of time. All of our recent readings suggest that we're on the verge of losing control of this rift. I recommend diverting from our current plan before it is too late for Arcadia. I've included extensive notes and annotations appended to the modulator schematics to substantiate these conclusions. I know you will guide us wisely, my dear Consul.
The rifts have spawned throughout unknown reaches? This is more dire than I surmised. But at least we have the means to combat them now. Our work here is not done. We must confront the console before anything can come to fruition regarding these schematics or the rift modulator.
Your punctuality is as commendable as ever. How did you fare in securing the rift modulator? Yet one more hindrance to overcome in this endeavor. Nevertheless, I expect you to guard those plans closely in the interim. Did you find anything else of note? When one learns information that rattles their understanding of the universe, one may take a moment to consider the gravity of said information. We know that rifts are only caused by skip drives, so if they are appearing in non-colonized space, then this is truly momentous. It proves definitively that life did not originate on Earth, and may, in fact, exist elsewhere in other forms.
Of course, I wouldn't want to discount these findings too quickly, especially considering the implications.
I concur. This is a discussion for later, with laureates in attendance. For now, we must confront the Consul before he wrests that future away from... I have run the numbers, and should you wish to negotiate with the Consul, you must be strategic. He will not react well to a direct attack on his character or methods early on. It certainly may, at which point we may find the opening needed to convince him to stand down.
I might tread a mite lightly, dear. If I know the consul's type, and I do, his ego can take only so many hits before his guns do the talking. Simply goading may not be ideal.
We'd be losing the element of surprise. So if you want to negotiate, best not muck it up.
The more we debate, the more time we squander. We must resupply and shore up whatever defenses we have quickly. And if you've something to say to any of us, Commander, I suggest you say it while you have the chance. No telling what awaits us beyond that door.
The Sovereign was a naive fool. The Consul, a scheming sprat with delusions of competence. Time will tell which was more destructive.
Ah, Redactor Esmond. Very punctual, good. Don't take a seat, this will be quick. My sentinels tell me you have some interesting ideas. Oh, easy, no need to break into a sweat. Interesting ideas can be useful in the right hands. Especially now that our partnership with the Order has become fraught. We may need our own version of their pacifying doctrine.
Oh, so I do have a germ of an idea. A less grand version of the grand plan. Instead of atoms and particles and such, it's made up of us. All doing our part, like cogs in a machine.
Interesting. A system where every subject believes they have a role to play. Enthusiastic obedience. Why, the Sovereign and I were thinking of this very thing. What should we call it?
Well, I'm not sure. It's still just a germ of a concept, of a hint of an idea, you see. It's a whole new way of thinking. A new model of society. Quite the paradigm shift.
Paradigm. Very good, Esmond. Say, you look frazzled. Troubled by your own thoughts. Why don't you report to mental refreshment? My staff will personally see to your well-being.
Focus on accomplishing the task at hand.
Ah, the distinguished presiding bishop herself has deigned to join us. What a charming surprise.
Don't overlook the main attraction, dear. I even wore my finest battle attire.
I might have known you'd conspire with our enemy and lead some foolhardy crusade against me. Loyalty has eluded you for years, after all. Sentinels, if you would.
Forming an alliance was necessary to combat the irrationality of your foolish endeavor. Those who fail to show reason do not deserve to lead this colony. Now, stand down.
I will not. I am saving this colony from itself, and ridding it entirely of traitors and trespassers like you. Do not place his decision at my feet. I know it's difficult for the likes of you to fathom the concept of self-sacrifice, but he chose mental refreshment for the good of us all. And what am I to do but carry on his legacy? What am I to do but achieve what he could not? I'll only be killing a select number permanently. The worthy, however, will be resurrected and reformed so they may reach their full potential. Open your mind, Commander. Yes, I know well who you are. In any other situation, I might be compelled to take you apart and see how precisely it is you operate, but time, it would seem, isn't on your side. You are a relic of an impotent institution, propelled forward by nothing more than luck and foolhardy metal. Indeed. Rarely are there enough measures to keep the most tenacious of sprats from gnawing their way in. I've been following your progress closely, you know, since you so unceremoniously tampered with our Vox relay on Paradise Island. When you began your dealings with the Order and the Corporatists, I thought that perhaps having a chaotic element in their midst could work in our favor. But now you're here, scurrying around my ship and attempting to thwart the Protectorate yet again. You think yourself clever, don't you? The Sovereign is indisposed, leaving myself as the sole custodian of Arcadia. What's his is mine. And the victory I inevitably clench over you, over anyone, will be his in turn, even if he's not here to bask in it. Such bravado is unbecoming when you can't make good on your promises, Commander. Tell me, did you manage to stop us from bringing your peace talks to a swift end? As I recall, Greater Tranquility was reduced to little more than mangled ruins in a single moment.
Greater Tranquility Station was a test?
It was a modest success. I had hoped it'd hobble Auntie's choice in the Order once and for all, but it has proven to be a valuable lesson in patience. I was able to buy the time to enact the very plan before you. Though, judging from that vacant expression on your face, it would appear you've no idea what I intend. Very well. Once the Rift destroys Arcadia, we shall edit the information stored within it and use the modulator to reshape our colony into its perfect form. Horizon Point's destruction all those years ago was a tragedy, yes, but without it, we might never have opened our eyes to our true purpose and the possibility of Arcadia's rebirth. When the Matriarch discovered the first skip drive, she set us on a course to elevate humanity. We're now writing our path, and I will do my part as the Architect intended. Intrepid, aren't you? Well, what's relevant is what came after. Our Matriarch dissected this skip drive technology, learned its secrets, and enabled us to produce them en masse, which eventually led to the manifestation of rifts. But it was not until well after Horizon Point's untimely end that we understood the opportunity gifted us. The opportunity to reconstruct the colony in its perfect form. It is as the Grand Architect designed. And believe you me, I've no intention of letting you thwart our securing of a better future. One free of doubt and greed.
Beware, Commander. The Consul is a master manipulator. Trying to speak with him may be more dangerous than simply slaying him on the spot.
You're entirely out of your jurisdiction. And were I within reach, I would strike down this apostate dog myself. If you wish for me to entertain your argument, you will silence him.
Consul Emery Thoreau, I accuse you of perfidy of the highest degree. Traitorism against the Sovereign and his Protectorate. I find you guilty on all counts. Prepare for absolution.
You overeager fools. This is the last mistake you'll ever make.
You're ratcheting up my aggression. Corporification in progress. Weapon ready, Commander.
If the readouts are to be believed, the rift is on the verge of destabilizing completely. But the rift modulator cannot be operated from this distance. It must be flown into the rift.
That was a rather substantial hole in my predictions. These rifts have presented an excessive supply of incalculable variables.
Though it may be troubling to you, this conclusion holds no uncertainty. Someone present must do this. This is not possible. There is no set destination we can command the ship to fly to. The flying and the activation of the modulator must be done manually.
The Order and I will use the schematics and the processed rift data to mass-produce modulators that are usable at a distance. These pesky rifts will soon no longer plague the colonies.
May all your endeavors add to the equation.
I don't see why it has to be you, dear. I mean, I would, but I've spent much too much on prolonging my existence to cash out now. That is to say, thank you.
I will work with Auntie personally to protect the Rift technology and ensure your sacrifice is remembered for the selfless action it is.
So much for any pretext of honor. It would appear the responsibility of saving Arcadia falls to us.
No need to belabor this. I will fly the ship. Back on Greater Tranquility, you wish to give me a chance to atone for my mistakes. I'd say that opportunity has come.
Reckon I'll join you.
You needn't suffer for DeVries' misdeeds, Marisol. But if you are set on this path, then I shall respect you all the more for it.
One who chooses not to die needlessly. But if you are set on this, I would still join you. This is my mission too, and I'll not back down if there are others to carry out the rest.
Very well. I see the deed is in competent hands. No rational reason for all of us to perish. I'll ensure the rest of humanity is saved, as we'd like.
Salvation awaits, Commander. I'm itching to reach it.
So, in the end, the commanders sacrificed themselves to save the galaxy. No one knew their motives or thoughts in those final moments, though legends grew around this mythical agent of the Earth Directorate all the same. Augustine DeVries went along, knowing nothing would make up for her actions. But at least she'd not have to live with her guilt any longer. Thanks to the commander's quick thinking in sparing it from the Vox station's fiery crash, Paradise Island's Fairfield remained a profitable company town for Auntie's Choice. For his outside-the-box thinking and innovative propaganda techniques, D.B. Milverstreet was promoted, while rival Officer Carr seethed at her lack of upward mobility, or even bronze-tier executive benefits. Vigilant Hogarth, now acclimated to Fairfield, leaned on the protectorate ideals of neighborliness, while overlooking all the authoritarian tactics, so he might help the Order to succeed with the equation. Auntie's Choice assumed control over the day-to-day workings of Matriarch's Mercy, the better to monitor their new colleagues in the Order. The monastery, however, returned to normal operation, tracking the clockwork of the grand plan. The monastery's abbot became a scapegoat for recent tragic events, having not detected Wiley's dastardly schemes. His superiors demoted him, mainly to show their corporatist allies that academics could keep their people in line too. Seer Wiley fled the order and sought refuge in a backwater Arcadian town to contemplate his failings. As word of the ex-seer's arrival spread, people lined up for predictions. Forsaking the math that failed him, he offered obvious yet effective advice instead. After defending Fort Endurance against a fierce Mantisaur attack, Executive Warchek was awarded a commendation for profit-securing stalwartness, as well as promotion to regional manager. He eventually passed peacefully in his sleep at the scientifically astounding age of 6. Val continued to serve the Earth Directorate faithfully for many more years than should be possible, giving automechs like her everywhere a reputation as stable and reliable. As a result, more Valerie units were put into service, while fewer human agents were deployed into the field. As he rose through the Earth Directorate ranks, Niles pressed for a field directive to deploy the new Val units only when the situation posed significant risk. The policy reduced agent casualties by a significant margin. Oddly enough, in-office deaths increased by a not insignificant margin. Agent Niles Ibarra achieved the rank of commander, earning renown as a formidable agent, unafraid to challenge the status quo within the Earth Directorate. He recruited his friend Zebulon Tran to the Earth Directorate, a gesture of gratitude for not airing the Directorate's dirty laundry. Together, they vowed to reform the agency from within, so it might never again bargain with authoritarian governments. Ultimately, Niles rose to the position of Secretary General. His term saw the Earth Directorate at its most popular, or, in the eyes of corporations and tyrannical governments, most feared. Thanks to her effective performance at the Praetor blockade, Inez eventually became a VP of Auntie's Choice and head of the revamped grafting program. Through her egalitarian management style, grafting evolved into the corporation's first health benefit, available to all employees who wanted it. Utilizing what he learned alongside the commander, Tristan attempted to reform Protectorate society from within. But with no authority figure to lead its subjects, the Protectorate was a shell of its former self. After thoughtful cogitation and calculation, Marisol slowly began to reject violence as the sole method for eliminating random variables. Not coincidentally, her social calendar began filling up. Asa finally achieved her dream of dying in a rift. All it took was a daring and blood-soaked heist of a modulator to create a rift that she then summarily leapt into. Thus Asa remained a fanatical member of the Glorious Dawn, spreading the truth of the rifts to her final agonized breath. With the modulator schematics shared as joint intellectual property, Auntie's Choice and the Order's partnership remained steady, despite the need for constant compromise. For a time, the Arcadia colony thrived. Auntie Cleo went through the motions of accommodating the Order, yet privately aspired to keep free trade anything but free. She began a new initiative. Any corporation or government that refused her trade conditions was promptly dealt with, either via takeover or strategic use of rifts. Ruth Bassar proceeded to interface with the Archive, an agonizing process that clawed away her lifespan. The Archive computed that she was mistaken to compromise with the corporatists. To advance the plan, she needed to destroy them from within. So she proceeded to do just that. She had only been using the corporation for its logistical infrastructure. Auntie herself and at least some of her top executives needed to cease existing in Arcadia, either via assassination or skip-drive-assisted exile. Bassar stripped the power from the corporatists in subtle ways, until it was too late for them to stop her. Yet it remained unclear how long the Order could sustain its dominance once Ruth Bassar passed on to become one with the Equation. Adrift without firm leadership, Protectorate subjects struggled with post-war life. A small band of hardliners collaborated to preserve their society in the face of Arcadia's new leadership. When Sovereign Varric was discovered in mental refreshment, the Order and Auntie's Choice bickered over what to do with him. They ultimately decided to announce his death, while letting him live the rest of his addled days behind closed doors aboard the undisputed Claim. Until one day, Amos stumbled upon the Sovereign's private quarters and freed him, rocking the colony with a brief scandal. Despite the recent tumultuous events in Arcadia, it was business as usual for Free Market Station. Sub Rosa continued to supply the colony in the wake of the Commander's actions. Unable to die in their sacred rift after it was closed, the Glorious Dawn heeded a new calling, seeking the modulators needed to create new rifts, so that they could die in those instead. The rifts across Arcadia and beyond were soon closed. Trade quickly resumed, with Auntie's Choice handling logistics. Yet, more than just goods and resources traveled the re-established trade routes. The Order's version of scientism spread as well. Many colonies stabilized, many thrived, and some even rose to an Arcadian level of prosperity. But there are still some that have never been heard from. All of these events turned on the decisive actions of the Earth Directorate agent and their unique way of navigating Arcadia, its disparate factions, social complexities, ubiquitous product placement, and arsenal of absurdly satisfying weaponry. But through it all, and to this day, Earth has remained inexplicably dark.